Alright, so this is the subject matter here, Humpty. Just your standard 69 word long bed. I bought it with a little bit of front end damage and did some undamaging to it. It's a pretty solid old truck. A typical tire blowout right there. But let's catch you up to where I'm at right now, where I'm about to get cutting. Alright, let's talk about what I'm about to do. Most people get shied away by this type of thing, but I don't. This is shortening an F100, and this will be my second one, but I also have insight from the first one, so let's walk you through this process. The first step I did was remove the step bumper. That's pretty self-explanatory. A couple bolts on each side. The second one was actually the tailgate. That is a little more tricky on these old bump side F100s. But what I found to work best, this is the way I've done it before, is get yourself a little adjustable stool, set it down behind the tailgate, roll your tailgate back when you got all the bolts loose, pull the straps off and let it sit down on your stool, and then basically let most of the weight kind of teeter on the center of this, and you'll push one of the pivot balls down that way and the other one will go up that little channel. And what it looks like when it comes out is you'll have that one shoved down in the corner, and this one will be like this. As it's coming up, a little higher, you can basically get to a point where this can fully lock out of there. So, or you can tilt the tailgate off of the pivot there. So I think mine ended up being up pretty high. You can see I kind of scratched the paint on this edge. I want to tape that off. You want to be a little more careful on your finished truck, but that's the process to get that tailgate off. Alright, next thing is you get yourself a little Sharpie big tool here. It's real really accurate tool here, but it's about a ½ inch distance between that tip and the Sharpie tip. And what I did is just ride that down in the channel and let your Sharpie trace right along with you. Obviously you want to keep it kind of perpendicular or normal to this point. You don't want to have the pen too far this way, or obviously that varies your line. One thing I want to point out, obviously it's not a perfectly straight line, but you're not going to have to worry about that right now, because once you make this cut, it never goes as planned, whatever you laid out right there anyway. So what you're going to do is make your cut here, and then we'll come back and scribe the 4 inches for the rear section. Okay, got the majority of the first cuts for the very first section done. Let's see, about the only place I fell asleep and pulled over right there. But the rest of it stayed pretty nice and skinny and no wobbles. I'm using a 16th inch wheel, which seems to be holding up pretty good actually this far. So the first thing I did was obviously have your wheel spinning away from you, top side spinning away. I came in right here, kind of this where the the bed seam is. This top and bottom piece are spot welded together. Cut in as straight as I could right there, and got this blade as deep as I could in there. And what that does is allows you to get that cut started. So I'll stick this blade in there. You can see how deep it gets. Somewhere like that. And that allows you to get started on that second cut. So these two are pretty easy, so I figured I'll leave a little section at the bottom and a little section at the top to come back to. But once again, I started with that deep cut. Then I came around the back side here, and same Sharpie Bic marker lined up. I kind of scribed down this side, which ends up being about 1/2 inch. But I started the cut and went in towards my other cut. You can see there's a little bit of a skip right there. Should be fine. We can clean that up when we cut the second part. But I'm working my way down to this back section, and then I'll start marking my cut that goes all the way across here. Alright, now that we're working our way down towards the middle, I went ahead and started marking this back section. I apologize, the sun's going down here in Phoenix. Just used a couple rollers and clamps, a couple magnets, got them straightened down the middle there, and then marked just the top of each one of these high side bumps. Once again, about 1/2 inch distance. Make it the same each side. You can see it's just about on the crest of this bump on both sides. So that'll help line that all up. And what I'm going to do is come in with tape and lay it in each one of those grooves to help give me a straight line down inside. But right now I can't do a real straight line with just a straight edge. So here we go. Okay, now here's where I came back with the tape and used the top side markings that I came across all these ribs with, and then just stayed straight over top of the tape, made sure my second line was still lined up, rolled my finger down the center of the tape there, and then pulled it across, all while keeping an eye, making sure these 2 points of the tape are lined up. And again, this is not going to be perfect, but at least it gives me a better start than letting the Sharpie go underneath the straight edge and wobble around. Apologize guys, it's kind of dark outside, but what we have here is I've cut all the way through everything but a little tiny piece in that corner there. And instead of trying to grind my way through with the scary cutoff wheel, I'm just going to go ahead and use the cordless Ryobi Sawzall. So I have some bungee cords holding the top together. You can see this one's off, but if you look down through there, nice straight cut. So use the Sawzall and this will be ready to come off. Cool thing is it's held on by the 2 pieces of frame rail that you're going to end up cutting off. Alright, so I've got the back section removed, set aside. Only thing I had to do was use a Sawzall down in the corner and lop off the extra part of this I couldn't get to with the cutoff wheel. The rest of it came off okay. Now I'm going to do a little scribe here with this little cheesy caliper. I ended up having to clamp it, it was so sloppy, but I'm going to take 4 inches off the back, so you're just going to ride this back edge. And anywhere you let the cutoff wheel walk is going to be too much taken out, so when you end up scribing the line, like for example, this came out real accurate. You can, it's hard to even get that close with the blade, but down here, I let the cutoff wheel walk a little bit, so I'm not going to get a perfect line, but what you can do is take a piece of tape and straighten that out, or if you feel comfortable cutting, just go ahead and aim from known point to known point. It's pretty easy to keep a straight line. There's where we sit so far. I just let the calipers dig into the paint. That's about as exact of a cut as you can get. Okay, now you can see I got that back section cut off. Same process. Ended up having to use the Sawzall in these two corners, and I went ahead and used it on this one because I ended up having a short blade on the end of these cuts, so I didn't get quite through that one either. It's real easy. Lay the Sawzall in there and watch what's there. Cut straight through. Used a couple clamps to hold the edges up on this side and that side, that way it didn't fall and gaff me open. Now I'm getting ready to cut the frame rail 4 inches forward, and then we'll remark those holes and drill them up there as well. So same thing on this side. Alright, so ended up using a little different setup for the front edge, but basically a Sharpie tied to something that can drag along this front edge. I went in and marked both sides of the front yesterday. Got the back section off. And I'm going to start marking the center as well. I got those 2 yardsticks. Went through and marked 16, 16, a bunch of ways across, and then used my meter sticks there clamped together, and I'm going to make a nice long straight line across the top and do the tape down through the valleys of the bed again. That seemed to work good on the back. And then I'll start strategizing the way I'm going to cut the top of this after that. So the goal is to get the second cut first this time, which means I'll just measure from this line over and get my second cut going. That way I can get the bed, this section of the bed pulled off, so I can work with, there's some trickier cuts on this, and there might be some slicing I have to do, so I'll update you as we do. Okay, finally got through cutting the first of the 2 cuts. This one I started with the middle, because that allows me to take the front half of this bed out. And there's a lot more technical stuff that needs to be done with the stake pocket, and up underneath there's some cross members that I have to deal with as well. So this makes sense to get this off and get it to where I can flip it over and leave the big part of the bed still in place. This was tricky to save the stake pocket. I had to scribe a line to establish the width, and I used a simple tape line to establish this line, and again another 16 inches from here to there. To copy this tricky corner here, again this was just using a pin and something to rub up against the edge to follow the body line. I copied it by using 2 pieces of tape and tracing, because you can see through it, and then overlaying that here. Let's go to this side. Same situation, copied it. I apologize for the grainy video. But now we're ready to take the front part of this bed off and start working on the fourth bed.